Today's been a difficult one. Really deciding whether or not I want to continue with TikTok. And now because a content creator decided to use me as an example, make an example out of me effectively, I'm being bullied, something I'm very familiar with. But I know I'm being bullied for a very unusual reason that I'm not used to, which is being a white, male, straight person. Used to get bullied for very different reasons. This is the first time I'm being bullied for that. And people might say I'm being sensationalizing in that, but no, people are literally attacking me because of the way I look, because of my gender, because of my sexual orientation. Yeah, fun stuff, oddly enough. And I look the way I do now, which is I'm being bullied because of the way I look now, effectively. People are trying to discredit me or say, I have white male privilege, stuff like that, which I understand that. But the funny thing is I look this way because I was bullied into looking this way. And I think most of my followers know I'm part of the neurodivergent community. I am on the spectrum and I'm ADHD. Things that I have no control over. So in high school, I would have multicolored hair. I dressed in different clothing compared to everyone else. I tried differentiating myself as much as possible from everyone else. And I was called gay. I was called a fag. I was called a homo. I figure skated. I was in choir. And because in choir associating with gay boys, I was also therefore lumped in as gay or homo or fag. Because 25 years ago, it wasn't tolerated the way it is now. Being different wasn't tolerated. And I got bullied into looking this way because I needed to look this way to work in the industry that I had to go into, that I was going into. I had to look this way to fit in and not worry about getting a job. And even in the industry I'm in now, I have to look this way or I won't get the work. I chose to look this way because it helped me. And now I'm being bullied for it. And whether or not you want to admit that it's bullying, coming after someone for their race, their gender, and their sexual orientation is bullying. Someone's comparing me to Elon Musk. People are saying I have, white privilege, yada, 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 but I'm a social recluse. I get very little benefit from the way I look in reality because of the paths I've chosen. If I went into industry where I was a lawyer or banker, broker, stuff like that, sure, I would agree with you. And yes, there does come some privilege from looking the way I do. I understand that, but I got bullied into looking this way. I chose to look this way for my benefit. Unfortunately, I do have that option. Some people don't have that option. I understand that. But I would have preferred to look the way I used to look. And I've been slowly going back to the way I used to be. I mean, last year I bought colorful shoes, which was a big step for me. And I'm not bullshitting you. They're my favorite shoes in the world. And these are them. And before that, everything had to be gray and brown. Like this for my work. Now, TikTok's not a safe place. I can't expect people to care about my feelings. Just like they really shouldn't expect me to care about their feelings, but I never try to do anything really to intentionally harm people in any meaningful way. And that's where all this stems from, is an unintentional video, or a video that I did that I unintentionally did something, and I apologize for it. I hold myself accountable just like I do in all my videos. But it's pretty strange to see a bunch of people infighting like they are right now. Especially since they literally took the way I look and assumed a bunch of stuff about me. When the fact is, I'm part of the neurodivergent community. So that puts me into a larger community of people who go misunderstood a lot of the times. So yeah. It's been a fun day. Real fun day. And I didn't even come from a place of monetary privilege. I worked from the time I was 14 years old. I've worked a lot of jobs that people would never consider doing. I've worked on fishing vessels as a processor. I've worked in heavy mechanics. I have crawled through the mud. I've crawled through fish guts, literal rooms full of fish guts that caused you to stink for weeks. All so that I could pay to put myself through school. My parents were particularly inattentive as a child. I thought they were great parents because they left me alone. Realized later on in therapy, no, they just effectively ignored me. They were inattentive. Come from a broken home, parents divorced. I literally worked for just about everything I had from the time I was 14 years old. If I didn't want to walk to school, if I wanted to ride, I had to fix my own bike. I learned how to repair my own bike. Because of that, I got a job in a bike shop. And that all snowballed. That's how my life worked. Yeah. So people are making a lot of assumptions about me, even my political affiliations, saying that if Pierre Poilievre was doing this, he'd be crying out about Bill C2. And no, I wouldn't. I voted specifically because the person was more conservative than the prior leader, but they weren't selling the rhetoric that the Conservative Party leader was doing. And the reality is Pierre would have never put a bill like this forward. Simple as that. But yeah. Fun day. Fun day. So I guess ultimately this is a case of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Maybe I should look more autistic. Maybe that would help people.